I played football here at Tennessee Tech. I played from 1977 to 1980. I was a place kicker. Well, I remember late, I signed my scholarship late, and I was kind of getting nervous because I did want to pursue a career in college. And I had trips to Florida State and other areas I went to, but they weren't offering full scholarships at the time. But I got a brochure in the mail of the Tennessee Tech football brochure, and their kicker was a senior. And then I got a call from them indicating that they'd like to see me and have an opportunity to meet with me and my dad. So my father and I accepted the trip up here, and as soon as I got on campus, I fell in love with the school, and the rest is history. Pretty much I did. When I landed on campus and saw the field and everything else, and just, you know, the whole aura of being in this area of Tennessee, my heartbeat increased, and it was a no-brainer to not say no, and I accepted it and went forward. My career at Tennessee Tech, I'm very pleased, first and foremost, that I came here and that I was able to play all 4 years as a freshman. I started as a freshman and played, you know, all 4 years. I didn't have to get redshirted or was never second team. I was very fortunate to be in the position I was, because a lot of guys, they go to school and they don't get to play right away. So I was very fortunate from that perspective. My freshman year, we went 9-2. And I was voted all conference. My sophomore year, we had a mediocre year, and I ended up being all conference that year too. My junior year, we just fell to pieces. And my senior year, we stepped it up a notch again, and I stayed here all summer and prepared for my senior year, and it was my best year. And I was all conference as well, and the team even voted me most valuable player, and I was Kodak All-American as well. So it was a very illustrious career. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And the second most thing is I got my degree. And that you know, being a student athlete, it was very important that I got my degree. And after my brief stint in the NFL, I did come back here to school to get my degree, and Coach Wade still had me on scholarship, so it worked out pretty good. Well, during the spring of before my senior year here at Tech in 1980, there was I'd get calls that, you know, Buffalo would be here to you know, they want to critique you and kick in front of them, the Seattle Seahawks, Minnesota Vikings, the San Francisco 49ers. Different teams would come in, and during spring practice, I'd go out and kick for them and so forth. And I did really well. I did extremely well. And they said, "Oh, we don't know if you're going to get drafted or not, or whatever." And I took it like a grain of salt. Whether I did or whether I didn't, it really didn't matter, because I really wasn't thinking that far ahead. I was thinking more towards the season, because I had my senior season to go yet. So, but. Then it played into the season, and then, you know, I got a couple of calls from a couple of the teams. Seattle was one of them, and Buffalo and San Francisco, and they weren't sure what they were going to do. And then the Bills called me and said, you know, we'd like to sign you as a free agent. And I said, man, I'd love the opportunity. You know, I'm not going to turn it down. You know, so I went ahead and I took that, and you know, it didn't go well there, because, you know, I did well in camp there and so forth, and then I got put on waivers and the Chiefs picked me up. So I was very fortunate enough to go and play with the Chiefs. As soon as I got down to Fort Lauderdale, they called me, and I was on the next plane back the next day out to Kansas City, and I was very fortunate to play under Marv Levy there for a brief time that year and the following year. So it wasn't a long period of time. I just felt fortunate enough to have been there, if you know what I mean, because that level of football is second to none. I mean, it's a big business, it's a cutthroat business, but I just felt fortunate enough to have gone through my tenure here and was able to do what I did up there, which it wasn't a lot, but I just felt fortunate enough to have done it. I would say, yeah, there's several that are up here this week. In fact, you know, Dean Ratledge, a couple of coaches, Coach Joy, Coach Hughes, Coach Kardatsky, all the coaching staff were big influence, and especially Coach Wade. I can't thank him for the opportunity that he gave me to come up here, because you know, kickers don't often get scholarships and so forth, and I felt I was very fortunate enough to step in here and do what I did. But as far as players go, I mean, you know, your teammates are your teammates. I don't want to single out individual players, because I don't think that's fair. I think when you play on a team, you're a team. And I valued the team ethic, because first and foremost, you are a team. You know, when one person you know, messes up and the whole team has to run, well, that's part of it. You know what I mean? But the team, it is a team. It's not an individual sport. But I would have to say overall, they all had a big part in my career here. I'm currently relocating back here to Cookeville, Tennessee from Vero Beach, Florida. I've accepted a job up here and I'm back to Cookeville where I started my football and college career here. I will be doing member services and risk management with the Tennessee Municipal League Risk Management Pool in the East Tennessee area. Wayne Anderson, and this is where I've landed.